Greetings everyone, TD5491 here to show y'all how to do the Photoshop process of the custom cards that I do. I've had quite a few requests over the last year to make a video like this, and thanks to the Scottish Jedi for kicking my Sith butt today. I'm going to actually get down and try to take care of a little bit of stuff. One of the first things I'm going to do is I've kind of already put some stuff together so that I won't have to go through the whole process. A lot of it is time consuming. A lot of it is real tedious kind of detail work. I use Photoshop. And, you know, give yourself some time to play around with it when you do it. It took me a good year messing around with it, not being a Photoshop expert at all. It did take me a little time to kind of learn what was going on. There's a lot of articles and stuff like that you can find on the internet if you Google it, where they have people that will post their methods of how they do it. I actually learned a bunch of different methods from different people and kind of found my own little niche of how to do it. So, you know, do yourself a favor, do a lot of research, and it'll help you out in the long run on how to make these custom cards. And you can pretty much make anything you want. So just take the time, enjoy yourself, and have fun. Alright, let's go. First of all, what I'm showing you right here is a actual Revenge of the Jedi card design. It's basically, this is what you'll start with. You'll start with a flat design where it doesn't have any kind of pictures or anything in the background, and you can zoom in on it and everything, and I'll show you real quick. You can get down to the minute where you can see a lot of the different pixels and see really, like right here, I went in and colored all this in to make it better, because a lot of these scans are direct scans from original cards. A lot of times they'll have like a little white border right here, right? You kind of click over here, get you some black paint, get your paintbrush right here, and take off the caps lock. Caps lock will kind of, this is your menu. You can have all kinds of different brushes and widths and everything like that. So what you're going to do real quick is first you want to make sure the background is all black, because it is a black card. So I usually use the paint bucket here. I'll come over here and hit it once, and as you can see, it kind of got a little darker, but you're going to have a couple of areas. But what that does is it matches the black with what you're going to do with the paintbrush. So then you come back over here with the paintbrush, you just kind of take this little stuff away right here. You can see this is a generic number right here. You can put your own little number there, and I'll show you how to do that later. So we're going to get rid of that altogether. Just push the mouse down, and it'll just erase the whole thing. So anyways, you'll do like this, and you know, go all the way around if you have that on the design. But that's one of the first parts of cleaning your background image. So a lot of times what you'll do when you got this is you can go and Google's a pretty good thing. You can find all kinds of Star Wars images that you want. Here's an example of the crispy Lars figures that I did. I did an actual screen grab off of the DVD. This is going to be your most favorite tool right here. This is called the clone stamper. It actually looks like a little stamp. So you're going to get that little clone stamp, kind of come over here, make sure you got your thing on the biggest one. Now you may have to adjust the size on the image here and there, but what you first do is you're going to hit the ALT button, and then you're going to aim this wherever you want to copy. Say we want to copy the top of the hut right here. So we're going to push down the ALT button, hold it down, and if you see there's a little target, that's actually showing you that you're targeting that area. Basically like you're going to shoot that area. So you're going to target that, you click the mouse one time, the left click, and that actually copies it already. So now you're going to go over to, say, the blank image, the other file, and then you just click your mouse again, and there's your image. Now when you go to enter this, you'll see, I'll usually kind of do like this to kind of see what my size is, and as you can see, that thing is monstrous. So what we're going to do is we're going to come back over here, and we're going to hit undo the clone stamp. Edit is always, the edit area is going to be where you're going to always want to kind of get rid of what you just messed up or something like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here to image, and you hit resize. You come over here to image size, and it'll bring up your little thing, and it shows you the width and the height. You always want to have it on constraint proportions, so that way whenever you do make a modification, you don't make it too stretchy or too fat, or you don't want a fat guy looking like he's skinny. So that basically keeps you in your area that you need to be in. So I can see right now that with a 40, this is definitely not going to fit on that card. So what we're going to do is we're going to, just for the sake of it, we're going to go ahead and take that out to about maybe a 15. Okay, so we're going to try 15 just to see if that works. And you're going to have to learn that on your own. You'll get to your little areas where you'll eventually get to the point where you'll kind of know where you're going to be at and what adjustments you need to make. Alright, so it's going to take a minute to shrink this image, because it's actually the larger the image, the better, because when you shrink it, it'll still be a nice, clean, high-res image. Now, if you take the magnifying glass over here, which is another great tool you're going to use a lot, you can actually zoom in on it now and make it just as big. And as you can see, you didn't lose any kind of image quality. Now, if you have a really small image and you try to blow it up real big, it's going to look like crap, because the smaller images, as they get bigger, you lose the dots per inch, and I'll show you what that means right here. It looks like there's a little glitch right here, so we're going to zoom all the way into this right here, and you're going to zoom all the way in. Alright, now you can see that that's what you call the pixelations and stuff like that. So actually, this is how you fix that. You take your little clone stamp, that's going to be too big, and you're going to go over here and kind of scroll through, and you can pick one that you want until you get to be about the size. Okay, that's about the right size. You can come back over here, close this window out, hit your Alt button, hold it down. You're going to target this area right here because it's basically the same color. And you just hit the mouse one time and you come over here and boom, all gone. Look at that. Isn't that sweet? I love Photoshop. It rocks. And it'll take you a little while to get it, so then you zoom on out. And as you can see, as you get further out, you can't even see where you were. And that's why I really like doing really fine, in-close detail work, because nobody's going to see that, even with a magnifying glass, especially with the size of the custom cards that we're going to do. Okay, so say for instance we're going to go ahead and see if this size works. We're going to go back over here to the clone stamp. We're going to come up here on this this top of this building, and we're going to click the Alt button again. We're going to click the mouse one time. We're going to come over here. We're going to open up our card design. And you know you're going to probably want to fill this whole card up. So the real trick about this is to go up here, right where your line is, where you're going to want it to be, and then you just hit the button. And there's your stuff. So what you'll do is you'll go in here real quick and you'll kind of check to see if it's going to work. And as you can see, the hut's right here, so that's actually not bad. So then what you're going to do is you're going to hit undo the clone stamp, get rid of it all. And then now you can go back in and you can fill it all in without tearing up any of your designs. See how that works? And then this is actually a kind of a tedious process, and it takes a little while, and you got to color it all in. It's basically like coloring in a coloring book or anything like that. And then when you really want to get, I usually color in all this kind of area, everything that I want to get. And then when you get down to where I usually leave all my edges and corners till last. So then when you get into this kind of an area, I'll show you what you do. You're going to want to zoom in big time. So that way you can get real fine detailed down here to the T. I mean, you really, you find your area that you're comfortable with. Okay, and then we come back over here to the clone stamp. Alright, don't ever re-hit the clone stamp once you start this image until the image is done, because once you do that, you've lost that image. And what I mean by that is, I'm going to show you here, we're going to go ahead and start filling in this little spot right here. Try to make sure that you get a tool or a size where you don't have too many bigger squares, because then when you zoom out you'll be able to see that. Okay, so you just kind of, oops, see I messed up right there. If you mess up, all you got to do is hit undo clone stamp. But it'll go back to where you go. So to do yourself a favor so you don't lose a lot of your work, fill in a little area like this because you got to hold down the mouse button when you do it. And when you get to a point like here, just in case you mess up past here, you go ahead and let go of the mouse button. But then you can start back down here or wherever you want to be, and that way, oh, I messed up, or oh, I messed up. That way you can go over here and hit undo, and then hit undo, and then it just took away what you just screwed up and not what you had already worked on. So that's a big thing to teach yourself to do. That after you do a little bit of filling in like that, let go of the mouse button. And you come down here and do a little bit more and let go of the mouse button. That way, if you mess up, you go down here and go, "Oop, I messed up." Then you can go hit undo, boom. Save you a lot of headache. Okay, so then, what I was talking about a minute ago, we're going to go ahead and zoom out, and we're going to check our area and see how good it looks. Okay. So it looks like it's good. It's good filling in. You know, little details like that you can go ahead and fill in, but you know, I'm just kind of trying to show you how to do it real quick. Now, what I was talking about, if you don't want to hit the clone stamp button again until you're done filling that entire image in that you want. And when you get done with that, getting your background image, you're basically going to have something like this. Okay, you're going to have a background where you've got all your stuff in the lines right here. And everything looks nice and tight. You got your background, okay? And one example of what I did with this one was I did my costume, which was a centrifuge for it. Now, as you can see, I actually did the gun where it kind of, the MG34 kind of comes out around the edges right here. And I'm actually protruding over the thing. You don't have to do it like that, but I kind of did it like that to give it like a 3D effect. And this is actually our coin. And I wanted to see what the coin would look like, so I kind of just placed it there real quick. And because I was a deployed sand trooper. So now we're going to go ahead and go back to this one right here, and I'm going to show you how you do your images. Okay, say for instance, this is my new costume right here, Darth Revan. I've actually got a few different images here that I've already edited out. One of the things I wanted to show you on how you do that is you go right here and say you got all your background here. Now a lot of times this won't work, and what you're going to need to do is you take your little eraser tool right here and you come over here and you just click your eraser tool and it erases the background. Now the only problem with this is, and you're going to have to kind of learn to do it, and a lot of times what I'll end up doing is I'll get my little painter and I'll get my paintbrush and I'll get like a, you want to get a color that doesn't, it's like you don't want to use black next to the black pants. You don't want to use white next to a white costume or something. You want to have like a neutral color, because if not, when you go to erase it, it's going to erase all that color. So just an example so I can show you there's two different ways of how to do this. If you do it with the paintbrush, it's a lot easier and you can get into the more finer details. So we're going to come over here and I'm going to get my paintbrush back, and I'm going to probably zoom my brush down a little bit because I don't want to have, if you have it too big, it's going to leave a bunch of boxy kind of look. So what you do is you just basically trace out your lines like this. You know, just kind of, you know, try to take your time with it. No hurry, no rush. Just kind of go in here and do like this, and you know, follow your little areas. Sometimes it don't matter if you kind of go over a little bit, because you're going to end up doing a another little tool later, like a smudge tool that's going to blend your costume in with the background. Alright, so real quick, I'm going to zoom out and kind of show you the difference of what I was talking about. Now, if you use the eraser tool a lot, it'll leave this kind of crap right here where it kind of made my cape all kind of groppy and nasty and stuff. And if you really want to save time and not have to color in all that background, because that's what you'll do literally if you do the paint method like this right here, later on, instead of having to do all that background, you just take your little eraser tool and you just erase it. So then you got some fine lines and everything looks nice and tight and everything's pretty cool. And I usually use that a lot. But for what I'm showing right now, I just kind of wanted to give you, you know, a couple different alternative methods that you can do it. Now, one of the things that you can do, if you do want to cut some space or cut some time out, you do all this, and you come over here and you take your little paintbrush. Well, let's see, let's zoom in first. We'll get the magnifying glass, and we're going to come over here, and we're going to come down here to my cape, and then you'll take your paintbrush, and then you can actually tighten this up a little bit. You just go like this and kind of, you know, clean up the little spots and you know, just take it out like that. And then you can come back with the eraser tool and erase that, and then you got tight lines. So there's different ways you can do that method, okay? So anyways, once you get done doing all that, you can come in here and I've actually kind of prearranged and done this before I started the video. So I've already got one that's kind of half done here. So what we're going to do now, we're going to come over here and take the clone stamp tool, and we're going to clone stamp, say the instance, I kind of don't want my feet to show, so it'll kind of blend in a little bit better, but I kind of want my boot to show a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to start the clone stamp probably right here. So you hit the Alt button, make your little target, get your foot, and you're going to come down here, you're going to open up your other little, your thing right here. I like to have my brush as big as possible when I'm clone stamping. So what we're going to do is we're going to zoom in a little bit to make the picture a little bit bigger, so you can kind of have a little bit bigger idea of what's going on here. Alright, so go back over to the clone stamp tool. Alright, now your boot's down here at the bottom. I got my little thing. It's kind of hard to see with the sand right here. And as soon as you hit that mouse, that's where your image is. So then you just kind of color yourself on in, or whoever you're going to be in. I can tell you right now that I'm not over far enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to hit undo my clone stamp. I'm going to go back over here. I'm going to get my other image. I'm going to come back over here and get my boot. Go back to the same spot about, and I'm going to come back over, open up the card, and I'm going to bring my boot over even further. So now I got my hand right there, and as you can see, it's going to be a little bit more proportion to where I'm at on the card. Now the one pose with this, with my cape, I kind of liked this picture. I was at the Dallas Star Wars Fan Days convention last year, and it was really windy. And I went outside, and a buddy of mine was taking some pictures, and just so happened the cape was blowing and the wind was blowing. So this one actually is pretty cool because my cape will come right over the edge right here, and it pretty much runs off the card. I thought that was pretty cool. That way, that would be like my sand trooper earlier with the gun. It gives it that nice 3D effect, kind of like it's, you know, you're jumping out at you. So what I like to do is I kind of color it all in, you know, get in there and get the majority of it down. And then when you get down here to the bottom where you know you're going to want it to be a little perfect, we're going to go ahead and zoom in and get real close so that way you can see it real close. Now, one of the things you're going to see now is it's kind of sloppy. That's actually one of the bars that I didn't clean up on the image. That's why it's important to clean up your images real well, or that stuff will show through. Like all this right here, this crap, is actually from where I didn't clean up that image, because I'm basically just kind of showing you real quick how to kind of do that. And you'll learn that on your own, and just, you know, take any times. And also, if you have any questions whatsoever, I have no problem answering questions, and I love to help anybody learn how to do this, because this is really fun, and you can basically, you know, make yourself into your own action figure, especially if you have a costume of your own. And I'm in the 501st Legion, and we do a lot of Star Wars events for movies and stuff like that. And we help Children's Hospital, cancer services, and we do a lot of charity work. And we love dressing up in Star Wars and being a giant action figure. So that's why I kind of started doing it. I wanted to be my own action figure, or have my own action figure. So there I am. Now it looks like I'm in the middle of the desert, just like Darth Maul. Of course, I got my name tag right here. I'd have to take that out, but otherwise, you know, other than that. Okay, like I was showing you on this other image of this one right here. I think I got it somewhere. Oh, where's that? Yeah, this one. This is our coin that we have as Mos Eisley Stand Troopers. So if you have like a favorite logo or something like an Imperial Cog, or say for instance like this one's a Boba Fett one that I did for one of our buddies that's in the 501st. This is our logo, which is also on my hat right here, the 501st Legion. So that's where the little logo goes, and that's kind of like your little trademark. So if we go back to this other little card, you can have your own little trademark right here. And I actually did I actually played music for a while, and this is something that I drew a long time ago. So I kind of liked it. I think it's kind of cool. I'm going to take it and do my little alt and clone stamp it. Got my little target right there. I'm going to come back over here, kind of pick out your little spot where you think it's going to be, and you know, you might not get it the first time. Might take you a few times, but you know, like I said, just kind of stay inside your little area right here. That way you can get down real close later on when you fill all this in. You can fill all that in right there, and that way you can zoom in like this, and you can get the fine details, and that way it's real nice and tight, and it's real nice and clean. And as you can see how it makes the big boxes and everything. You want to make sure that you fill all that in real good, and make it kind of smooth, so that way when you zoom out you don't really have all that that stuff distorting the images. Okay, one of the last things I wanted to show real briefly is when you do get your image in here, what we're going to do is I'm going to zoom in over here, and I'm going to show you how to blend yourself into the scene a little bit better. This is a really good tool. It's called a smudger. It's basically like if you was drawing on a piece of paper with a pencil, and you take your finger on the lead and you kind of slide it around the edge, what it does is it'll actually it'll smooth it and blend it in a little bit. So we're going to take a little smoother. I'm going to do it. Kind of want it a little small because it's going to smooth you in with the background. So we're going to go like this and kind of smooth it on there. Look at that. See how smooth it made it? It's like you're literally blending yourself in with the background. So you just kind of go around. It doesn't really take. Don't have to really take a whole lot of time doing that. You just kind of just zoom around, you know, kind of smooth it out. Sometimes you got rough spots, and like right here, you don't want it to be too much over the sand into different colors, because when you go into the different colors, you're actually going to start smearing it. See, that's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. You don't want to do all that kind of stuff. You want to definitely take it as smooth as possible. If you go to another color, like right here's a different color, you want to go like there. That way, if you know you're going to come around this kind of a color, you can actually fix it a little bit by doing like this. But if you go a little too far, you can kind of bury it up a little bit, and that way, you know, instead of having to hit the other button to make it erase or whatever, you won't have to do that. Okay, so here's another little one that I did, a Biker Scout, just so you kind of get an idea. This one was from Return of the Jedi. This is for one of our brothers in the 501st Legion. Up here earlier I was showing you they have the generic number. I was a sand trooper, and my number is 5491. So I'll take my little magnifying glass, and instead of their ID number for the batch number on the action figures, and I have my number. That's kind of like my little trademark, and it's kind of like my autograph basically. So anyways, that's about it. That's the Boba Fett one. As you can see, it's pretty awesome. I love doing it, and it won't take you too long, and you can be doing it too. Now, that's going to be about it, but I did want to show you, I know there was a question about printing. You don't need a big, expensive printer. You can have a good printer. I use a Lexmark Z25. It's not, you know, maybe 60, 70 bucks, maybe $100. It just depends. And you can get a really good one. This is the best photo paper out of all the photo paper that I've used. It's very expensive, but sometimes at Office Depot you can get them buy one get one free, and it'll be about $50 for one, but you get 50. But if you go in and they have the buy one get one free, you get 100, and that's, oh yeah, you can go online, yeah. And anyways, it's the Premium Plus photo paper now. Make sure you get the Premium Plus. And then when you print it out, it'll look like this. And it's real shiny, real glossy. You can touch it, but you know, like any other picture, you don't want to, you don't want to have your fingerprints all over it and all that kind of stuff. Which I'll show you a little bit what I mean. I have a couple of figures that I made here. This is Jeremy Bullock, the guy who played Boba Fett. He actually got his own costume not too long ago, and you know, basically that's one of the finished ones. And as you can see, it's real shiny. I put a vintage Boba Fett in there for myself, and there he is dressed up in his uniform. There's me with Boba Fett, and there he is holding the figure. I made him one, and I made me one. And then if you watch the video that's on there online, we gave one to Darth Vader, the guy who plays Darth Vader, and this is mine that I made for myself. And then of course there's a picture on the back with me and Darth Vader, which was cool. It was awesome that I got to meet Darth Vader. And I actually have a picture of him signing my thing, because I have the autographs on here. And then last but not least, here's my figure that I made that I was showing you earlier. And there's got my coin that you can see that we had made in there. And if you can see, I had a guy in Australia do the actual figure to look like me. So I usually wear a headband because the sweat gets in my eyes and everything. It's pretty fun. But anyways, it's fun to do, and I hope I've given you enough information to at least get you started. And again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask me. Have some fun. Make your friends into an action figure. Give your mom and dad a present for Christmas, or give your buddies a present or something like that. But anyways, that's it. I hope I helped you out. Peace out, and may the force be with you.